This is Gary Atensi with CNTV, and today we're in Lakewood, Colorado. I am here with Waveguard Corporation. Since 2012, they have designed and developed an extraordinary system that protects your business, your family, your home, and your precious memories from the threat of fire. I'm here with Randy, who is the president. Thanks for joining us again, Randy. Let me start off a little bit about yourself. I mean, quite honestly, you have 30 years of experience in that of landscape and irrigation, but tell me how this all got started for you in this industry.
Well, a few years back, there was a fire in Franktown where we lived about 8-9 miles west of there, and saw the fire happening. So my wife and child and I got in my truck and went over there and helped people evacuate. And as we were driving through the neighborhood, seeing the husbands on the roofs with water hoses watering down their houses, and their wives were out trying to round up the horses and animals and get them in the trailer to get out of there. And so we assisted the people in doing that. And as we were driving around, I was thinking, and then I was telling a friend about it, and he's like, it's too bad we can't come up with something to put a lawn sprinkler on the roof. I sat and I thought about it for a while, and I said, well, you can. It just has to be controlled a lot differently. And so I kind of sat down and did the thought process and who I needed to get involved, and it all kind of started from there.
That is amazing. I mean, you obviously did more than just think about it. You actually went after it and got a team together. As a resident of Colorado, a beautiful state we live in, like that of California, Arizona, but we have a climate that can be dry, it can be windy. We have over 100,000 reported wildfires out there, and that's just in the United States alone. I mean, many times wiping out up to 5 million acres of land. Even worse here more recently. Is this problem really more commonplace than people give it credit for?
Well, I believe so. I mean, Colorado's probably ranked the highest state or the highest risk for wildfires in the United States. And unfortunately, a lot of the people here, probably most of the people here, aren't educated or even know about what we offer as far as a system. I mean, we just launched last year, so it's definitely a problem, and we hope to reach more people out there and let them know that there's help.
An uncontrollable blaze pretty much consumes anything in its path. I mean, it can happen in a matter of seconds. I would imagine something like this, a crisis that happens, minutes actually matter, and even moments. Oh,
most definitely. We've taken all that into account. We've talked to a lot of firefighting officials, fire chiefs, fire marshals, and got a lot of background as far as when we initially designed this system. We wanted to put as much water out there as possible. We wanted to water down, 80 to 100 feet around the property. As we went through the design process and talked to more people, we found that we didn't need to go out that far, and we were able to redesign our system, bring the cost point down, and make it more economical and actually a better system, just through information that we've learned.
I mean, from Colorado, we definitely have watched the news, and I see these firefighters out there bravely going up against a fire. Many times you hear them say that we're praying for rain. I mean, you really have developed a way that you can turn on the rain at a very critical moment.
Well, exactly. If we have a system, we like to let the firefighters know, or the local fire department know, that what properties we have our system installed at. If there happen to be in an area where the fire hasn't reached yet, we've implemented a hot button type of device on outside of our cabinet that firefighters can actually open it up and turn it on themselves. And it creates somewhat of a safe haven for them, because we're injecting a fire retardant into the system as our system is operating. So it gives them a place for security and safety as well as they're fighting the fire around them.
An absolute better way for them to evacuate something of danger.
Most definitely. People, once they get evacuated, the system comes on. If they haven't, once they're leaving, they can actually hit a button that's an evacuation button, hit the button, the system comes on, and they can leave, and their house is protected.
That is fantastic. Let's go ahead and start breaking this system down a little bit for the viewers. We're talking about 4 pillars that really make the system work. Let's start off, first of all, with the fact that it's really fully automatic. I mean, you don't have to be at home. You don't have to be watching out for your home. You have an infrared sensor that basically does that for you. Tell me about that component.
Okay, it's a multi-spectrum infrared detector. And what that means is that it detects the infrared, also, you know, the blue and the red spectrum of the fire. It has some false reads built into it. For instance, if someone's out barbecuing and they have a flash fire out of their grill, the fire has to be there for approximately 8 seconds for that detector to say, okay, we have a problem, it's a fire, and it's a wildfire. And so it has some false reads built into it as well. So it doesn't just activate if if fire flashes in a barbecue grill or something.
So we're talking about a flame detector that basically sends a signal to the controller and sends out a sprinkler system here. Is it constantly monitoring even after it's sent out the signal, so it can know when to shut off or when to send out the next sprinkling system?
Exactly. Once the fire passes, and typically from the information we've gotten from firefighters and battalion chiefs, that the wildfires, they can move through a property in 10, 15, 20 minutes. Once the fire passes and our infrared detector isn't picking up any flames, then we go into a safe mode. So our controller will then go and it'll water for 3 minutes, it'll shut down for 15 minutes. And it'll do this for 10 cycles. So even after the fire passes, when wind comes up, it blows embers back into the property, it's still protected. And flame retardant that we use, the fire retardant, remains active. Every time there's water put on it, up to 2 weeks, actually, it stays active.
Speaking of that, I mean, quite honestly, this would be a very impressive system if this was merely water, which would really put together an environment that is not good for fire. But like you say, it's injected with a flame retardant. Tell me a little bit more about that.
It's a micro blaze-out product, and it's not a Class A foam. It's not a gel. It's a live microbe bacteria type of product, only one of its kind on the market. There's no cleanup of it. It's environmental friendly. Our representative that we talked to him, he goes, you can bathe my dog in it if you want. But it's not harmful to the environment. The product is even used in some cases, it generates new root growth, so very environmental friendly. The only evidence you see of it once it's turned on to a system is that you'll get a little foaming at the end of the downspout, kind of like a little bit of soap. But other than that, you don't know it's there.
Wonderful. I mean, basically, obviously, if you live up in the country or if you live in the city, we're all doing our part to go green. This is something that is non-toxic. It's safe for people. It's safe for wildlife. It's safe for your pets. And like you said, not only that, but there's a certain window of time when it can actually be reactivated just with water.
Exactly. Even if it dries out, 2 weeks down the road, you hit it again with water in it, and it reactivates.
Excellent. Obviously, the heart of the system here is in the patent pending controller, which is really the brains of the whole system. This is something that is easy to put together, but it's not a one-size-fits-all. This is really very customizable for pretty much any client's needs.
Exactly. We can design it to fit any structure, whether it's a house, an outbuilding, a commercial building. We design it, we size the piping, size the holding tank, the heads, everything customized to each individual property.
One of the things, when a crisis of this magnitude hits, I mean, everything and anything can happen. One of the things that people aren't expecting is that of power outages. Tell me how this is a self-contained unit and basically isn't really reliant on the power needed there.
Well, it's hooked up to the power of the home, which actually keeps the batteries charged. We have a battery backup system within our cabinet. So when the power is cut, our system will still operate up to 2 weeks off of the battery backup system. We do have a solar panel that goes on top of our cabinet that helps power up and keep the batteries charged as well. So it's fully self-contained, no power is needed, there's no gas needed for any type of generator. Our pump is a 48-volt pump that operates off the battery, so we're fully self-contained.
So we're talking about a system that's auto-refilling itself for extended periods of time, like I said, up to 2 weeks, but if you want the option, you can actually get solar added to it. This has to be really peace of mind for people who are gone, especially on vacations and that type of thing.
You would think so. You know, if you're not at home, you would hope that someone's protecting your house, and we have an option that we can monitor our system 24/7. We have a website set up, so if anything goes in default, whether the homeowner's home or not, give us an alert that there's something wrong. Whether there's one of the detectors has dirt over the lens, it'll send us an alert. If there's a power surge and something's tripped, and we'll send somebody up there. I mean, anything that goes wrong with that system, it'll send us an alert, and we'll send somebody up there to take a look at it.
I think what is surprising to myself and possibly the viewers is that as a homeowner, we understand the importance of having sprinkler systems throughout a business, commercial. We understand how important it is to have detectors of smoke detectors in our home. Yet this is something on the outside of our home that, quite honestly, that's where these extreme fires can really cause damage, and yet here we are pretty much defenseless on the outside of our home. Is that kind of surprising when people realize that?
Well, exactly. But on the flip side of that, I think people they're apprehensive about this because there's nothing else like this that's been introduced to the market. There's some systems out there that some people have thrown together. You know, we spent 5 years designing this and wanted to put something out on the market that people would feel comfortable putting on their home, that we could explain how it works, and they would have some peace of mind. So we didn't want to capitalize or benefit off of people's disaster. We wanted to make something available for them. You know, once we were to the point to put it on the market, that they knew that there was something available for them to help protect their home and their lives inside.
Randy, this is absolutely beneficial for pretty much any home or business out there. But I imagine even more so for, let's say, a residence up in the mountains where, quite honestly, the firefighters can't get to that quickly, I imagine.
Exactly. We've had several people come by our booths at shows, and they're concerned about, you know, we live so far up in the mountains that a call out to get a fire truck up in there, even if they can get it up there, will take hours. If they have our system on, that house is being protected. Now, along with that, there's people that live in areas like that. The insurance companies are to the point to where they don't provide insurance. So we're trying to work with insurance companies to assist homeowners to where they can actually get insurance if they have our system installed. So that's still in working process, trying to reach the insurance companies and work with them as well.
That's an absolute game changer for somebody who couldn't get insurance before. That's fantastic.
Oh, most definitely. I mean, I couldn't imagine living up in an area like that and having a total loss and not having anything to fall back on.
Basically, like we said, the controller is actually the heart of the system that makes this work. Basically, it's not reliant on outside energy because once the batteries are charged. What about the actual reservoirs itself? Tell me how that component works.
Well, once the system starts, once it's activated, the water level starts going down in the tank, obviously. We have level sensors inside the tank that once that water goes down, once again, our controller will sense that. It sends a signal back to it. The controller activates another electric valve. It starts filling the tank up. Homeowner doesn't need to do anything. As far as refilling the tank, it's all done for them automatically.
Excellent. Let me ask you this, Randy. We probably have viewers out there that see the system, they understand the need for it. Share with me the team that you've partnered up with to make this possible to get into people's homes.
Sure. We have partnered up with Western States Fire Protection. They're an interior fire sprinkler company, and they're basically worldwide. We sat down with them and had a long meeting with them, and they came to agree that they would install our systems for us. They're a worldwide product now. With them agreeing to put our systems on, now we become worldwide, and so we can help people in any part of the country. Anywhere there's a Western States Fire Protection office, we're there as well.
This is a team that basically already has great expertise when it comes into putting them inside of the house, and they're now doing it outside as well.
Most definitely. They got the people, they got the expertise, they got the equipment. It just seemed like a natural partnership.
Randy, basically they say everything starts with an idea. This was something that basically started here locally in Colorado, an idea that you had that you felt you could help people with. Tell me where you think the future of this is going.
Well, we hope it goes globally, and we have a good start with that. We're at a all-hazard incident management team symposium before Christmas, and there was a guest speaker from Australia who works for the government there, and he came and visited us at the booth. Actually spoke with our sales manager Kathleen Courier, and expressed his interest in our system. They had a wildfire a few years ago that killed almost 200 people. Due to embers flowing back and starting houses, starting the area on fire, and they're looking for a system that does exactly and operates exactly like ours does. So we've been in contact with them, trying to set up some sort of meeting with the government to show them what we can do to help them out.
So regardless of local, nationwide, or global, are you prepared for wildfires is something that should exist for everyone?
Oh, we are. We just need to let everyone know.
Excellent. Viewers, take a look at the bottom of the screen right there. What you're going to see is their website. First of all, on the website, you can take a look at all the features that this system has. We're talking about residential, commercial, basically protecting anything out there from something that happens more often than we would think. And you can also check out their team. We're talking about a team that has been working on this for many years. They've got a design team, technical team, making sure that they have a controller that basically is working and thinking even when you're not, be it if you're at home or if not home. Let me ask you this. Your team has put this together. A lot of thought has gone into it. It also has to be kind of rewarding for you to provide something that really provides peace of mind for people that have to go through or not have to go through more of a preventive approach, like you said, when it comes to the threat of fire.
Certainly. Yeah, I couldn't ask to work with better people. Ken DiPaolo takes care of all our design criteria, make sure that the pipe is sized properly, the pump is sized properly, everything's operating correctly. Michael Smith, he's our electronics guy. I mean, without him, we wouldn't have been able to build the control system. We sat down and said, this is how we wanted our system to operate, and this is what we wanted to do, and Michael built it. And there's been times where I'd wake up in the middle of the night, or Ken would wake up in the middle of the night and we'd have an idea and we'd call Michael and we'd say, we want the controller to do that. And he goes, well, I just can't make that happen. I got to start all over from scratch. And so we'd start all over from scratch. So he spent well over just a year alone designing, redesigning, programming this control system.
I mean, I was pretty amazed when I seen the concept. It was something that I definitely wanted to be a part of the education for. You're really educating people on what you call smart protection. I mean, they don't understand that it's not just extreme fires that can come in and hurt your place, but we're talking about small fires, even lightning and this type of thing that can be pretty detrimental to a property.
Oh, exactly. Our whole goal when we started this was to put something out there that people could protect what they have. Not so much. I mean, we've gotten response. We've been at different home shows. We've had people come by our booth and go, that's what I got insurance for. Let it burn. Kind of sad because hopefully everybody got out of the house safely, and you didn't have a lot of precious memories inside that got destroyed in the fire as well. So, that's what we're trying to get out there. Kathleen Courier is working with us as our sales manager, and she's done a great job trying to get the word out there as far as what we have to offer.
I think it's a great product. It's basically something out there, viewers, that really doesn't need to be sold heavily. It's one of those ideas that I basically look at and say, why didn't this exist before? I mean, this is really something that common sense would dictate that prevention is worth so much when it comes to crisis situations. Last time, take a look at the bottom of the screen right there. You can contact the team and find out if it's a residential or a business system that you would like to put in place. These are fully automated systems, like we said, basically put together by a team of designers that basically had you in mind, not only your family, but your business. That is the Waveguard Corporation, located right here in Lakewood, Colorado. This is Gary Atensi with CNTV. And if you don't know, now you know.